Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, where today I'm going to show you a full tutorial on how to build a space station like this one. This exact one I built in the last video on my channel. If you want to check that one out, it will be in the upper right of your screen. Now today I'm going to start off with step 1 of building a space station, and I'm going to work all the way up to the build and the end result. So let's get started. Step 1 of building a space station should always be making a design, like the one you can see on your screen right now. This is the first part of the space station I just showed you. Now I built this one in the building grid, but you can also make a space station design on paper. You will have to draw everything on scale, but doing so you can have a bigger design, because right now, as you can see, I'm limited by the building grid area. So as I said, step 1, making a design. Step 2, what you're going to do, you're going to get these parts separate from each other. So you're going to decide which part you want to launch first. And the best thing is to always start with the base part, like the one in the middle right here. So I'm going to select everything in this build. And then I'm going to unselect the parts of this base part, like so. And then I can delete the rest, like so. And now what I can do is I can build a rocket to get this part into space. Now for a space station, you will want to get your base part into an orbit, which can be very different from one another. You can have a space station in a 500 kilometer orbit, or in a 1000, in a 1500. You can basically do whatever you want with it. Of course, some look better than others. I usually choose 500 kilometers myself, but as I said, you can choose for yourself. Now to build a rocket for this, you're going to build a rocket like you normally would, but you're going to make sure you can decouple this one, and you can decouple the engine from this space station part. So for example, you're going to have 2 docking ports, and there you can have a fuel tank with an engine, and it's thrust to weight 121, so that's good. Now we're going to just build a rocket around it with more fuel tanks. And then we're going to have some side boosters just to make sure. And let's try not messing this up. So now for the side boosters, I'm going to just show you the entire build this really quick. You can skip through it if you don't want to watch it. But of course, you are going to have to do this no matter what. So now I'm going to launch it, and I'm not going to show the launch into orbit. I will show the second launch, because then what we're going to have to do is a docking maneuver. Now that I've launched my first part into orbit, I can now launch my second part, with which I have chosen to be this part. Now as you can see, I've built a rocket for it just like I did with my last part, except now what I've done is I've added RCS thrusters. They are these little thrusters, and once you get close to your other part of your station, you'll be able to use them to make very small corrections in your orbit. You also make sure you can do a docking maneuver very precisely. And the docking maneuver is exactly what I'm going to show to you now, because it has to be done quite precise and you have to be very careful with it. I'm gonna try to get to orbit real quick, and then I'll show you how to dock. I've now got this craft into orbit, but I kept it to a low Earth orbit because I'm first going to look for the other part of my space station, which I have named Station, which is nice to find it. I'm now going to make sure I get my apoapsis of the orbit of my new part at the same height of the orbit of the part that's already in orbit, which will be 500 kilometers. So I'm going to accelerate until my highest point hits 500 kilometers, which I will do very soon. And you have to be careful to not overshoot it, because that costs fuel. And we don't want to waste any fuel, because we're gonna need it later, maybe. So let's be careful with it. And there we go, 500 kilometers. So now I'm going to time warp up to my apoapsis. And you can see that my station is quite close to me now, which doesn't happen always, but in this case it's nice. But it actually doesn't really matter, because what we're going to do, I'm now going to get my periapsis, so the lowest point, close to 500 as well, but I'm not going to go all the way to 500. I'm going to make sure it's a bit below 500. So in this case, let's choose 300, because I've got quite a way to catch up to my station. Because my station is right behind me, but still I want to go away from it forward. So because this orbit is now smaller, it will orbit quicker than my already in orbit part of the station, as you can see. So I'm catching up to it. And now when I think that on the next orbit I'm going to overtake my station, I'm going to actually stop time warping. So as you can see now, if I would do another lap, then I would catch up to it and overtake it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the difference between my orbit and the orbit of the station is less, so that I will slowly catch up to it, more slowly catch up to it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to get it to 400, well, let's just do something like this. And now I'll slowly catch up to it. And now as you can see, I'm very close to it. I've actually overtaken it, which isn't too big of a problem. Wow, I'm speaking very well today. What I was gonna say is that it isn't a big problem, especially when it's so close behind me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to click navigate to, and now I'm going to follow the steps. So I'm going to go 16 meters per second faster, so I'm going to accelerate like I am doing here, very carefully, because you want to get it to exactly 0.0 like this. And now you're going to wait to the rendezvous, which is the meetup point with the other part of your station. And this game, it doesn't always calculate everything exactly precise. So when it gives you a new step to follow, you should follow it, like in this case. And this is quite annoying, but sadly there's nothing you can do about it, and I just overshot it. And there is something you can do about that, which is paying attention. And I wasn't, so make sure you pay attention when you build something yourself. And I'm going to have to get it to exactly 0.0 again, so let's get a very low percentage of thrust. And now I'm going to check if it's gonna meet me up with this other part. So as you can see, I'm getting very close to it. And when I think I am close enough, I can go to the map, or I can actually go to the real view, and then I can zoom out and check to see if I can spot the other part of my station already. And in this case I can't, so I'm gonna time warp to get a little bit closer, like I am doing now. And it is giving me steps again, but they are a bit confusing, so I'm just not going to, I'm going to choose not to follow these steps. I'm going to once again check in my view if I see it, and I still don't see the part, or do I? You always have to scan very carefully for a little white dot. In this case I don't think I can, so I'm going to time warp a bit more. That gets even closer. And very carefully. And you just have to check every now and then. And like now I'm going to check once again. And I'm still not finding it. And this is the annoying part. It doesn't always line up exactly precise because of how the game works. So sometimes if you're outside of it, so if you're on the outside compared to the Earth, you can accelerate forward and downward a bit. And then in a couple like kilometers, your orbits will line up better. At least they should. So as you can see, I'm getting closer to it now. And I'm going to check the map once again, and you can see it there on the left side of my screen at about midway of my screen. I'm now going to time warp because it will be getting closer to me. And now once I think that it's going past me or going to the side, I can now accelerate my craft compared to the other craft to make sure that it gets very close to me without, of course, hitting me, because we don't want to crash. Now you can accelerate towards it, but you can also accelerate away from it when it's coming towards you very fast. So right now I'm going a bit away from it to the right, but I'm also going downwards, so it will come upwards compared to me and it will come towards me. And now as you can see, it's going on the right of me, so I'll accelerate to the right a bit more. And I'm going to do this until it's close to me, like you can see here. And I'm going to check that it's very slow compared to my other craft, like so. And now I am so close that I think I can do it with only the RCS. So I'm gonna transfer all my fuel into the craft with RCS, decouple my stage, and now I can switch on the RCS, like so, and then I can steer towards this. So if I press the up key in the middle, my craft will move up. If I press the side key, the bottom side key, it will move to the right or to the left. And if I press the upper key, the upper side key, it will twist, like so. And this way you can control it so that your docking port hits one of the other docking ports and then you'll connect. Of course, make sure you don't hit the other docking port too fast. So be careful when you're doing this. You can't be too slow when you hit it. So like this, and there we go. And now, as you can see, it says I have docked in a transfer orbit of the Earth. And this is how you're going to connect every part of your space station. And this way you're going to build the entire thing piece by piece, because you can't launch it in one go because it would be too heavy. Now, as you see, I've got 2 parts in orbit, and they're waiting on their other brother parts. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you now know how to make a space station like the one I built in my last video. If you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like on it and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And then I hope to see you all in the next video. So thanks for watching and bye bye.